Barely on time. Barely, just barely. How to get my tea. So how's everyone doing? Thomas Rocket, thank you for following. Saw that coming in. I believe that was even before I was live. So I heard it in my headphones while I wasn't even streaming yet. Hope everyone's doing well. Also nice to see you, Themos and Crimson Iron. I did have some more stuff to show today, but it's not going to be Paragon for a change. I have made a small file, which I of course forgot to put into my OBS Studio. Let's see, where do we have it? Skill Ideas GBA. I'll just throw it on screen in just a moment. Pretty much I went through my previous stream, so I took a look at all the animations. Also nice to see you there, Garrett, as well. Nice to have you around. I have so many different files now. Skills ID, script, to-do lists. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I had animations somewhere, now I can't find it. In any case, I went through the stream, I took a pleasant look through the entire thing. I still say way too many times, that's just something I have to work on. Hope it doesn't detract from the quality of the stream all that much. And after that I also went through the entire GitHub for FE8 skill editing, because they of course have that entire skill system development that went around. And I thought, you know, maybe there are a few more skills that I can use or that I can make. And I made an entire file where I had a few things that I was quite pleased with. Like, I could make these. So I'm going to grab that one. Let's see, window capture. Let's see, we are going to rein this in a little bit because this is probably a bit sizable. There we go. First off, I had a few skills that I wasn't that great or not that big a fan of. Those were focus, which is just +10 critical when when there's no allies adjacent. I might make this into a personal skill, like I had. Maybe I even did this already, but I don't want to give it as a class skill because solo skills can exist in Daybreak now. Then intimidate during enemy phase, -10 avoid to enemies attacking. This could work. However, the way this would have to be implemented would be by giving enemy weapons, or giving already existing enemy weapons a second version that would then on enemy phase have, or on our player phase I assume, but it would have, let's see, +10 luck but -10 hit rate or -10 skill or something like that. Also nice to see you, Avgok 2030. Pleasant surprise being awake for one of the streams, and also nice to see you again, Resident Liability. Yes, Mr. Sal. Even half an hour, still a lot of fun. Getting back, however, to the Intimidate and -10 Avoid, I would have to make specific versions for every single weapon that would be on a character that would have that skill, which is just way too much work for not that much of a benefit. The same goes for Rouse, Oath, Taker skills, Hone skills, and Seal skills. They all do the same thing. You would have to create a different weapon, and depending on if a player character has that, they would have to, of course... Oh, it's Victor Hill! Yeah, that checks out. And I know who you are, like we've chatted multiple times, but I wouldn't be able to recognize your Twitch name wouldn't be able to mix and match those. No, but it's just if you give a player unit a Seal skill or a Taker skill, you would have to make a version of every single weapon that gives like multiple bonuses. That's just way too much work. Wouldn't be able to easily do that. Would probably also overload the memory in the end. The possible skills, they can go because I eventually switched some of them around. I had a few more that I really do like. First Aid. When below 50% health, consume a healing item at the start of turn. There are a few skills I've made that already do some healing. You've of course got Renewal, which I bumped up to, I believe, 20% of player max health. Might even go to 30. Then I also had a skill that Do Not originally made, but it's a really nice skill at the end of player phase. So just before enemy phase start, you heal like X percentage. Could be very good. So it means you can go in guns blazing, take quite a beating if you have a large health pool, and then after everyone's moved, you also regain some health, so you don't have to really worry about healing them with a physics staff. However, when below 50% health, consume healing item at start of turn. I could even make this whenever a unit is below 50% health during enemy phase, which actually sounds way cooler now that I think of it. For example, you give a unit an elixir, and if they have that elixir in inventory, you can even throw them in player phase, just throw them into the enemy back line. They take a lot of hits, like let's say 7 attacks, and then on the 7th attack they drop below 50% health, and suddenly they heal during enemy phase back to full. That could really work well. So not at start of turn, but healing item during enemy phase. A few more that I found. Dark Pact. At the end of turn, when under 50% health, grant HP is experience divided by 2 and deduct that amount of experience after healing. So let's say you have 80 HP and you get under 50% health. You trade in 80 XP to get 40 health back. I don't know, might be a cool skill. I don't know if it's going to be too many healing skills, but at least it's worth making and testing out, seeing if it's valuable in some way, shape, or form. Lingering status causes positive effects to stay on the user longer. Mostly I was looking at pure water and stuff like that, but I don't know for sure if this is going to be a skill that would work all that well. Maybe I could just make it for pure waters themselves. If you use a pure water, it would set the status to like 7 for 7 turns and then just drop off immediately. I might be able to make something like that. I know that there's a unit set status function in what we're going to go through in just a minute, but I would have to do a lot of testing, see which value was specifically for pure waters. I searched it at some point, but I lost the document. Hydration. User starts with a pure water at the start of turn 1. Pretty much the same thing. They would have a pure water in their inventory. It would deduct 1 use, and it would just be used at the start of turn, or maybe not even deduct a usage. Relief. Heal HP 30% if no adjacent allies at start of turn. So renewal, but slightly more stringent conditions, and you could stack these, for example. Breath of Life, we all know that one. The opposite of Savage Blow. Gale Force I already have, but I haven't made it entirely yet. And I also saw this was the skill that actually gave me the idea to go through the entire skill system development. Gale Force, there's probably a better name for this, but grant an extra action if enemy ends with the same HP at start of as when they had at the start of combat. Hello, can I scroll? You can't see this. I'll just... No. I want to crop. There we go. Lingering status we had, debilitating status. Oh, I didn't even talk about that one. Causes effects to stay twice as long on enemies. You get the idea, also done through the unit set status condition or function. And then we had Fail Force, grant an extra action if enemy starts with or ends with the same HP as they started with after combat. Let's say you don't damage or you miss your attacks, or even if the enemy uses Nosferatu and you don't gain anything out of the combat, you would still be able to... Hello. Gotta visit someone walking over my keyboard. No, you'd still be able to move afterwards. It could be interesting Then we have, going further, Poison, or rather Poison Strike, which is just deal 20% max health after combat. Hawkeye, unit will always hit. This one would, for example, also need quite a few weapons. I would need double the amount of weapons. Let's say I have a normal steel sword, a normal steel blade, a killing edge. All of these would have a different version, and if a unit with the Hawkeye skill would have any of those weapons in their inventory, it would swap the normal steel sword out for one that has 255 hit, or the absolute hit attribute. It's possible, but it would mostly be for, let's say, snipers. I was thinking of differentiating units quite a bit. So, for example, Leonardo being getting a magical bow as a preferred weapon. Then you'd have Rolf, who is really on growing and being an S unit, kind of like gaining a lot of stuff due to promotions, and Shinon would be a good base unit who not really tapers off, but then he would have a really low skill growth because he hit his ceiling, but upon promotion he might get the Hawkeye skill, which allows him to just bypass hit checks entirely. A huge accuracy buff on Insight could work, however I haven't really found where the value for Insight is, so I can't do that yet. Devil weapons are also possible. Currently I just have them with a set retaliation. However, you can do funky stuff like a value that is the sum of, let's say, your biorhythm status, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 25, and then your XP, and it takes those together, divided by 2, and any value, if the value is lower or higher than a certain threshold, you also take retaliation damage. You can make some really cool stuff that actually simulates a random chance to have backfire rates. And we'll go further. Dazzle, enemies cannot counterattack on initiation. This will also just be an attribute that the long far attribute, for example, doesn't allow enemies to counterattack, I believe. Would be also quite a few extra weapons that you would have to have for just that skill. So I don't know how feasible these are, but the ideas were at least a lot more fun to work with. Mostly just, I don't want to get too many, as in with the seal skills, the oath skills, the rouse skills and stuff like that. I don't want to have too many stat variations because I want combat to stay simple, and all of these things, like if I use a dazzle skill then I just won't get counterattacked, is quite a bit easier to understand than, oh, if I have a rouse skill on the enemy and if I have a seal skill applied the previous turn, that would be too many things to worry about for just one combat. Which I like conquests and I like birthright, but you have to think a little bit too much about what is going to happen every now and then. Skills are one of those things where it's harder to get more creative with them as you make them, but it feels good when you make something really unique. That is certainly true. Luckily, you can also just steal quite a bit from what other people have made. Just to get through the last few of them, Live to Serve unit gains HP equal to HP healed to ally, probably going to give this to Riz. Then we have Discipline Plus, unit has access to multiple weapon combat types. This is, I believe this was something to do with GBA where they would be able to S-rank multiple weapons, and I could do the same where, for example, a normal general would have S-rank like Tornado only in lances, but if Tornado has Discipline Plus, it would be a personal skill because it would just be a fake skill, so to say. It would just be an icon, it doesn't do anything, it would all be done through the classes, and he would have a personal class that has S rank in all of the weapon types that he has available. But you could do something with that just so that a unit can fulfill different niches and different roles depending on which weapon he wants to use. I don't know, Discipline plus just being able to use S ranks in multiple weapon types seemed like a good idea. And it's quite easy to implement. Dazzle is the type of skill to get cancelled. That is true. It's a strict upgrade on cancel. However, this would be probably a personal skill, so not everyone would be able to use this, or hardly anyone would be able to use this. Going down the list, we also have experience share. If unit has a support partner nearby, partner also gets some XP after combat of unit. This is mostly thinking along the lines of parap attacks or the like dual strike from Fates. Support-based skills, which use the get yell level command. Money altering skills, like getting a red gem of course is possible, but also just getting funds, or whenever a unit has no weapons you would lose some funds and it would just make a weapon appear in the inventory. There's stuff you can do with that. I haven't really thought about what kind of specific things I would want to do with that, but that's one of the things, one of the routes I can go with. Also, I'm going the right way. No, I'm going the wrong way. I think. Yeah, that's slightly better. Yeah, then we have skills based on the number of enemies on the map. For example, if there are 50 enemies on the map, you have no bonuses. If you have 40 enemies on the map, you get 5 crit, and so on and so forth, or 10 crit. Transform based skills, I want to make more skills for the Lagoos, even though I made quite a few of them, like Anger Point already. And then rescue and drop off skills. I made my shelter skill, I want to make more of those, because even though we don't have pair up, I want to create a little bit more dynamic. I want to create more dynamic situations that can appear in just moving units at certain places. And then we have the last few biorhythm skills. Good mood could be a skill, just always sets the unit whenever they would go into bad biorhythm, it would set them, for example, 5 stages further. So instead of you dip into bad and then it sets you not into, like, it skips the entire going from bad into worst, and then it sets you back to bad again and you go upwards again. There's some fun stuff you can do with that, but I don't know if it's very impactful. So those were pretty much all the things I was working or thinking about trying to steal from the skill system development from not Path of Radiance, Sacred Stones, like the entire FE8 stuff. And there was one other one that I had, but I can't find it. Can't find it right now. Items to do, patches, lowest percent. Animations, documents, new tome animations. There we go. Because people who were here the last few days, of course, might find these interesting. Window capture, tome animations. That should be decent. Before I go into this, let's see. Chat has anything. The battalion is increasing. Oh, I totally didn't see this. Malcon05, thank you for following. Luckily, it's only 2 minutes ago. I don't have my headphones on because I can currently still hear myself, but it also means I don't get the sounds coming in. But nice to have you here. Thank you for following, and hope you'll enjoy. And then Garrett asked, I forgot if you said, but is it possible to raise the limit cap for skill capacity, or is that more of a hard-coded thing? What do you mean, the number? Like the total number that units have for skill capacity, like the 50, 60, 70, or 100 for like level 40 Lagoos? Or do you mean the amount of skills that they can have? Because those are two different things. Because if it's, I gotta think about this, just changing the values is quite easy. I also have a specific change for Daybreak where it's all going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7 as like the max value of capacity. So you have very cheap skills that are going to be 1 or 2, like let's say Mercy and Miracle might be 1 or 2, or Miracle probably not, but like Old Miracle, percentage chance Miracle would be a 1-star skill. Yeah, the 50, 60, 70, those are definitely changeable. I can quickly show that if Paragon is going to show itself. If we go to classes, and let's take the Stalwart, or the Soldier in this case, here you have the capacity, and you can change capacity for all classes. Currently I've set them to like 14, 15, 9, 16, 17, 18. I don't want too much capacity, because they're, to me, having like a skill that costs 35 capacity is just going to clutter up your base time. It's going to take a long time, because the entire thing goes like very slowly to fill up the meter. And if you make the values way lower, it just goes and then you're done for like a skill that costs 3 capacity. The only problem with that was that capacity was at one point tied to Lagoos, or it is tied to Lagoos units. Whenever they level up, they get, at first I believe, 15 capacity, and then later on they get another 15, or they get 20 more or something like that. And that of course is going to change your dynamic. If your max capacity for a tier 1 unit is 15 and for a tier 3 unit is 30, for Lagoos suddenly having like going from 10 to 15 and then suddenly getting 15 bonus is a very big deal. So I was able to find where that is stored in the main doll file, and I changed it to be a little bit less myself. I'm quite glad that that change was possible, because it just it saves on a lot of time. It's a little bit of a quality of life change. And still, you'll get used to it soon enough that one of the most expensive skills on Hill, for example, is going to be like 7 capacity, because 7 is going to be one of the highest values. Getting back, however, to what I was talking about last stream, the tome animations. I've gone through quite a few of these. Took a look at the stream. Problem currently with siege tomes is that the Longfar attribute is removed. So currently siege magic may be able to counterattack. I'm going to do some playtesting at some point. Siege tomes aren't really in the picture yet. I am going to test if I can find something else that is going to remove the ability to counteract, but I do like the animations being able to play during map. Then we have Meteor, which I have to set the animations for. Cinder, I have the Fire Tail animations because we really like that one. Lava 2 was great. The Fray Bomb, which is blue fire, is usable. Red Wave was a good one to have. Lava 1 and Lava 2 are really cool. However, they hang, so I have to try and find a way, maybe by changing the camera angles, if that would actually work. And Single Vanish. Single Vanish is also a cool fire spell. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Quite a few. I could make 7 new fire tomes with that. And maybe if I can change the U eventually, I would also be able to add even more, because I really would like to have like forged fire tomes, for example, produce blue flames, because they would be stronger, hotter, etc. For Thunder, I didn't have all that much. Incarnation 2 was really great, really cool animation, but it also hangs. We have 3 demo Thunders, but they look pretty much identical to the normal Thunder, Elf Thunder, and Arc Thunder spells, but they are slightly lighter. And we had Thundertail. The only thing that I might be able to incorporate into Thunder Magic is the silent skills, or the silent effects, because they have quite... they're quite spiky with their triangular shapes, and that could sort of work as a different kind of Thunder Magic. There was a really basic one, Test 1, which I might not use, but it's just a straight line. Or maybe that was Magic Sword, I don't remember, but these two were both quite good. Triangle, the Restore Staff could be used. However, Restore Staff, if I'm going to give staffs, if I'm going to give staves animations during combat as well, instead of just on map, I might not be able to use them. And then Windtail was also, of course, really good. For Dark, we have the Spectre card, the Death card, the Anastasis card, Daunt, and Blackwave. Silence might be better suited to Thunder. The Lacane All Silence and the Ashra All Silence as well. That would give me a little bit more of leeway in the Thunder Tomes, because currently there's not much for them there. And then the Ginsia All Attack, which was really cool. It, however, has a slight delay before the the animation has a slight delay. It does damage and then the animation plays. And then Ashra Normal Physical, probably not going to use it because she uses it herself. For Light, Matrona, but this depends on if I'm going to give Stave this ability. Resire 2, I might use it, I might not. Rescue 1 and Rescue 2, especially if I can couple them. Barrier, same thing as the other saves. Incarnation, which wasn't great but possible. The Revive, Ashra Normal Light, but it's also a combat spell. Ashra Berserk, although that might also be possible as a lightning effect because it does have the crackling effects going through the animation. And Ashra All Light, which is really good for an SS Tome because she uses it herself. However, that one is specifically used on map. So I could use that one for in combat because of the differing perspective. Oh yeah, gotta scroll down, thank you. There we go. My bad. So we have Wind, which has all these options, and then Dark and Light. And the last one, Priz, which we thought was Prisoners, but it was actually quite a cool spell, but it hangs. I have to see if that one works as well. Lastly, for Earth Magic, we have Rolling Stones 2, Pitfall, Wall Break, Onager Stones, and Housebreak, but that one hangs. And what else was there? I was able to use the Evil Eye animation for like the head animation. When they cast magic, they have that little effect above their head. And I can use that, but that's already in the Stone Tome, so I can just copy and paste that one. Then of course we had Spirit Charmers, which can use different head animations, so they would also have to get specific weapons. We can use the Windtail EXE, Thundertail EXE, and Firetail EXE for the main ones, and then for Light it's either Ashra EXE Light or the 406 Magic Square. Those were kind of up in the air. And for Dark, the Ashra EXE physical one. And that's all the animations that I thought were worth using. I have not managed to get bronze weapons to display effects yet. However, I can quickly go into my Daybreak Paragon and we can take a look at the Steel Lance or the Flame Lance, for example. So the Flame Lance has the IID, it has all the effects right here. That's one, that's for on map, and then for battle weapons, if we search for Frame Lance, because I used the internal name from Path of Radiance, it has Frame Lance, and then effects ID KL Fire for all of these. And that pretty much solved the issue for me. I haven't taken a specific look if the bronze weapons, if I did something wrong, but I presume I just did something wrong last time. just the cat jumping off of the table. Were there any sound desk effects? Perhaps you could take the word thunder more literally, because thunder, of course, is the sound. I mean, I guess. However, that would still lack any animations. And I think whenever you're in combat, like, the flashy animations do feel like a big part of that. But yeah, I might take a look at it, but it's not something that I've heavily considered at the moment. I can take a quick look at the bronze weapons. We use the bronze axe, I believe. Yeah, it's probably just the unknown one here. Like, if I would have put something here, probably it would have worked. And the enemy, the _E one is just one for enemies. Yeah, it's the frame lance in Path of Radiance. So I just copied all of the internal names. Oh, see you later, Resident Liability. Hope you, if you want, you can always catch up on the stream on YouTube or on Twitch. And, well, we'll see you next time. English. You can turn some staves into other weapons. I would like to know what you did, Crimson Iron. Like, what specifically did you do? Because I've been tinkering with quite a few things. I have a few staves. Did I call it a battle? Yeah, the battle staff, for example. Because there's a few extra models from Path of Radiance that I was planning on making into actual combat staves. But I'm curious what you did specifically, just so I can make a mental note, look at it at a later point. Also, it's getting warm in here. This is probably a very flattering image of my head. There we go. Let's see, you changed the weapon type to dagger for rewarp and its damage to dark. And then I changed the battle weapon, I think, also to have dagger basic animations. Yeah, that would work. This is pretty much how I made the Weapons of the Branded video as well. So, quite similar strategy. I might even have that one still here. Axe sword, no. Axe lance. Sword axe, yeah, bronze sword axe, for example. So this is the bronze sword axe, and it is the weapon model of a bronze sword, but it functions as an axe. And by giving it the axe attributes here at the bottom, of course, like you've probably did as well for staves, you can make weapons that can be wielded by different classes. However, this bronze sword axe would be a bronze sword that shows up in the axe category in the convoy, which for me isn't really a way that I would like to go about it yet. For enemy weapons it's fine because you won't be able to obtain these. So branded mini-bosses on maps could have differing weapons and they would still be able to animate just perfectly fine. However, if I were to give this weapon to a player, then suddenly this bronze sword would appear in the axe category and actual sword units would not be able to use it, and that's something I would like to, of course, work around. So I might do a different approach for if I ever get some weapons that are specifically tailor-made for branded that are playable. But for enemies it's fine. It's just something that you have to take into account, because if you have that staff, it would appear as something else and it would appear in a different convoy slot. But I think that's enough Paragon for now. I have a big framework here. I was working, or rather this was what I did last time. I just removed lunge for now because it was taking a little bit of time. And I was absolutely forgetting to move Nolan out of the way the entire time, which caused him to get attacked multiple times. And we're going to make some new skills. For that, I am curious what you would like to see first. Let's see, these are possible skill ideas. Showing twice, that's why. That's better. So we're going to skip the not so good ones and some that any skills that requires additional weapons, like the devil weapons or Hawkeye or Dazzle. Those will be off the table because they're a little bit too much work for now. But there's quite a few other skills, like if anyone has something that they're really curious in how this would be implemented, then just shout one of the skills. I'll keep this list here for just a moment, and then after a minute I'll move it up a little bit so that you can see what's at the bottom. Yeah, this is indeed the Exalt script editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code, and then there is the... Can I show it in the extensions tab? If we search for Exalt, it's currently not showing up, but I do have an Exalt. Let's see, where is it? Here. I do have the Exalt FE scripting extension, which was made by Thane. This one, I believe we had Poison Strike. Yes, if you would like to go. Thank you, Cat. Cat going back to the bed on top. Yeah, Biorhythm was the last one. So some of these I won't be able to make working as of yet. Like just a little bit too much coding for one specific stream, especially because I have to go in like 1.5 hours. But I'm seeing interest in Breath of Life, and I will definitely make sure that we set up, like we have a stream where we just go through and set up the Exalt script editor, because getting more people into scripting, of course, is very nice for me as well, because if more people know what to do, then we can share ideas, we can share any just findings on what certain functions do. But I would have to read into it myself again, because I have done it once and I haven't had to do it afterwards, and I don't really recall how I got the entire thing set up. But yeah, definitely something that we're going to address at some point. So I'm seeing Live to Serve, Staff Savant. Did I have something like Staff Savant in here? Don't believe so. I'm not seeing Staff Savant, so if that's something, Themus, that you were interested in, what exactly do you mean by it? Or I'm just being really blind. No, cannot find Staff Savant. I'm not tripping. But we'll get working on some Live to Serve. You. Skill first, then we'll go into Paragon, set everything up, and we'll see how we... Oh. One message was deleted by moderator. That's my bad, I misclicked. Sub-download, also, it was just nice. Apparently, I do not allow the word nice to be spoken. Sub-download, how's it going? We just, we're starting some scripting for, what's it called? Making some new skills. Ooh, don't you dare, Themos, you're saying nice again. And I'm going to go through the process of how I'm going to make a few skills, and from there on out, see what is going, like, see if we can implement it. Live to Serve, I actually don't know how I'm going to implement it fully yet, so we'll have to I have to figure out if there's a unit, like thinking it through. We have to figure out if a unit has been healed. And then after that healing, we have to take the user of the skill and heal by the same amount. So certain checks that it would look for, it would definitely be, like, it's always callback, and it would definitely be a 0x7 callback. This 0x7 specifically goes for, it checks after every single action. And that means I am going to just copy and paste a few things. These are just random skills. So first things first, if this were a, like, live to serve, it seems to me like this could definitely be a specific skill for Riss. Like, it feels like a personal skill for Riss, because Riss, of course, always being someone who wants to help others, he wants to heal others. You said the N-word, now you're on the hit list. No, Riss is someone who wants to help other people. He really wants other people to stay healthy. However, he's quite sickly himself, but he does get a lot of value and a lot of... it makes him feel good whenever he heals someone else and whenever he can come to someone's aid. So I think I'm going to make this a Riss skill for now. The first thing I'm however going to do is not make it for Riss. We're going for unit get by PID, and that unit is going to be... who did we have that could heal? Did we have on the first map that could heal? We had Micaiah, because she's tier 3. So we'll turn this into PID Kilroy, because that's Riss later. Like, if I have to make this check for every single unit, I would put something else. I would get next. I would go for V1 is 1, V2 is force gets first out of the playable characters, and then while V1 is not equal to 0, so currently it is not, unit get next out of all the playable characters. So it would cycle through all units, and then if it would find a match, then it would later set V1 to 0, which you... Okay, it's a very long list, but trust me, at the end of that entire skill, like, these are the breaker skills, at that entire end of the list, you would get V1 is 0, and then it would quit the entire function. However, we don't need to do that, because we're going to make it a personal skill. And I don't recall you answering the question last stream, but do you think terrain-based skills could be possible? For example, making a water pool, then electrocuting it to damage those inside. Very technically, yes, I have been thinking about this, and I dug myself a very deep hole already with this. This is not what I needed. I needed a... I wanted to make a personal skill for Gatry, where whenever he's next to a woman, he gains either some hit or some crit or whatever, he gets a small bonus, or maybe he heals after combat, something that makes him try and prove himself. However, we all know the famous "you hit on a tree if I dressed it in a skirt, tell me I'm wrong" quote from Shinon. And if we go to the all functions list, we have terrain terrain name, and here we have set terrain name and set terrain data. So we can set something as a certain terrain. That's fine. However, this is the only terrain stuff that we have. We don't have get terrain name. So that is, we can't ask the game, like, can you pull up the data of the unit that is standing on this tile, or maybe the tiles next to him, we have to... that's just not possible, which is a big bummer, don't get me wrong, because I would have loved to make it a lot easier. However, what I can do, and this is what I did in one of my projects, depending on the tile the unit is standing on, just by using XY coordinates, I could make it so that whenever Gatry is standing on a tile that I know is adjacent to a coordinate that has a tree, I could just, based on whether or not he's standing on that tile, then I could give him crit, hit, whatever, give him the same bonus or a different bonus as whenever he's standing next to a woman. Like, women are quite a lot easier. Oh, this is not what I wanted. Go away. Go away. There we go. What did I call it? In the wrong thing. Gatry. That's Pavise. Chivalrous. Here we go, Chivalry. This is the skill for Gatry. We get unit by PID, we get his X and Y coordinates, and then we have like +1, -1. And if at any of these points, like if at V3, V7, so that would be -1, -1. So that would be... no, so it would be on the same x-axis, but 1 y coordinate higher. So if he had a woman just 1 north of him, he would get the chivalry skill, and that would grant him insight in this case, so he would hit more. However, then I had this trees not working piece where I tried with get terrain name, and that doesn't exist, that function, so sadly we can't use it. But depending on whether these were the terrain types, which is like all the woods, and I tried it with paving stones, all of it didn't work just because this function doesn't exist. I would have been able to do that, but what I can do is just have whenever unit unit get X V1 and get Y V1, and just have some random values, like if he was at 10-10 and north of him was a tree at like 10-9, then he would get that bonus skill. So I can make this happen, it just means that I have to go through every map with trees, and for every map with trees map out the exact tiles that follow the tree's path, and whenever he's adjacent to a tree on one of those tiles, he will get a bonus. The same thing can be done with water pools. I can map out where water pools would be, and depending on what happens, it's snowing. Depending on what I want to do with that, whenever someone has a certain weapon and the enemy is on that tile, it could do bonus damage. That could work. Probably for a Kaizo idea, that's a little bit too deep maybe for now, but I might make it work, or maybe I'll make it one of the effects for like a specific new Thunder Tome. But yeah, it can happen, but you have to manually look at every single tile that would be applicable. So just a lot of work. And we need Keisha to gain bonus power whenever Ranulf is nearby. For example, that's one of the skills that could work. Going back, however, to live to serve, because I do want to finish this skill. We have V0 unit get by PID. In this case it's going to be Micaiah, and then we have V1 is mind get target, because that is the person we're going to look for. And then unit get HP. That will be V2. And that is the HP of V0. And we also V3 equals unit get max HP V0. And then V4 equals unit get HP V1. V5 equals unit get max HP V1. Oh. These are all the things we need. And I'm kind of thinking like, how do we... Currently it has to check pretty much every single unit. It has to check every single player unit, and then it has to go through their lists and check their HP values. So that's going to be quite difficult, because it can be anyone. Mind get unit. Let's just try some things. Also, Ellie Dibs 110298. Nice of you to join. Hello, just gonna ask if you know about gecko codes for Dolphin. I do know a very tiny little bit about gecko codes, but I hardly ever use them myself. I don't really use gecko codes all that much. Gecko codes are mainly for using some tools like skipping chapters, or I have one that I made specifically for changing army units, but that's for a different project. So I don't think I can help you with just general codes, because I don't really know much about the structure of them as of yet. I do want to learn more about them, because they can be useful. Just not right now. But if you have a question about them, you can always ask it, and I'll just let you know if I know anything about the subject. So after combat, it would have to check. We have unit get HP. You have given me a difficult and tough skill to work on. Because I know that if it's just one person, then I can lock in their HP value and take a look at them. However, this is currently checking after every single unit, so it might not even be... The problem I'm facing, I don't know if I can explain this quite well, but I'm going to try. It has to look at the target's HP at two different intervals. It has to look at what the HP is before the healing is done, and it has to look at the HP after the healing is done. So I don't think we can get that in, just because this is a function and is a callback that looks at one specific instance. What I can maybe do is whenever I look at the inventory and the durability of weapons, but that would require me knowing if a certain function works or exists. We have set item endurance, but do we have... Damn it, we don't have the get item endurance. So if there were a set item endurance skill or a get item endurance skill, I could look at whenever a unit has used a staff, and then whenever I have that staff, I can look at how many uses does it have now. If that use is one less than the previous move or the previous turn, then I can heal for X amount. But we don't have that. We're only able to set the endurance, which, by the way, is like, I believe at one specific instance, which is used for Nieluchi's transformation, where he then has his Laguz stone set to 2 instead of 1. But we're not able to use that one, sadly. So how do we go by then? Cannot target the item, and we cannot target the HP right now of a unit. Would it work if I had a different flag? might just have to give up on this one for now because I don't see a way to look at an HP value twice. Unit get HP, and then we could do if unit get, or if unit HP, what's if unit get HP V1 is less than V3, so if they are not at full HP, no return. If unit get HP V1 is less than their max HP, oh, I'm taking the wrong max value by the way, this is V5. Let's see, maybe you could simplify by having a healer using a fixed amount whenever they use a staff. That's what I was thinking of. However, that would mean that I would have to take a look at their weapon durability, and there is no function to check weapon durability. So it doesn't know, there's no way for me to check whenever a staff has been used. That's the problem I'm currently having. And Ellie Dips asked, is there some code or way to generate a weapon or item? I'm on part 4 prologue where you cannot purchase physics staves yet. Well, I don't think you need physics staves. Like, even if you're playing on hard mode, you might want to use them, but you should be fine without them. Serenus Forest, what does it say? Radiant Dawn. The shops. Physics are purchasable only in the final chapter. Oh, and I missed this one. Would be cool if more skills affected biorhythm. If you had best biorhythm, there's a chance you don't consume an item. I am planning on making more skills related to biorhythm. Yeah, I don't think you have a good chance here because I won't be able to help you with that. However, if you go to Serenus Forest, there is in the Radiant Dawn subforum, there is a really big like topic with like AR codes, look here, something like that, and there's a lot of information about them on that part. Like, you might have to read through a few pages, but there's probably a code for you there. Unit get HP. So currently we're looking if a unit is, like, if the target is not at full HP. However, then what do we do? I guess if unit is... Could make a callback and then set a flag. But that wouldn't work. It would have to go through every single unit and then... I just have to think about this one a little bit more. Do you think you could repurpose part of the sacrifice skill? It just changed the user's HP after an action. The thing is with the sacrifice skills, this is a different part of the entire documentation. Like, all the skills that exist in the game are done through main doll, which is like the main file, and this scripting is done on a chapter basis, and it's just the fact that there's a lot of functions that we can use in ways that the developers didn't intend, that we can make skills on our own. But it does, everything I've made doesn't actually interact with anything that the skills that exist do. So I can't just take a piece of the sacrifice skill, sadly. Yeah, live to serve. It does seem like when I thought about it at first, it seemed like something that's possible. But the fact that I can't check for weapon endurance, so I can't check if a staff was used, that would make it really easy to just say if usage has gone down by 1, heal 15 health or something like that. But it has to check twice. It has to look for a non-specific target, and it has to look at their HP and then store all the HP values of every single unit on the map that is targetable by your staff, and then after the healing it has to target all those values again, which I cannot currently do. So I think I'm better off looking for a different skill. I'll bring up the menu again, but I don't think live to serve is easily made. At least not the equal healing to an ally or to a unit. I guess the only thing I can do, but that would also not work because you can just have a heal staff in your inventory. Like, can you use an if targeting an ally condition, remove the staff clause because it gives staff users, so it's not a big deal anyway. Well, that's the problem. If I'm targeting an ally, there is no function for where I'm specifically targeting a specific ally. This callback happens after every action. It doesn't happen whenever I target someone. This is only after something has happened. And there is no function for whenever you're targeting an ally, sadly. The only thing I was thinking of, whenever I have a staff equipped, I could make it so that after every action I do take, I heal some HP. However, that is not entirely what it's going for, because then you would, like, of course the heal staff does the same thing, but it does it at start of player turn. The other thing that would work is, or that it would do, is you could just hold a staff. But I have an idea for this, and I think that would work. We only need the target. This can go for now as well. Let's just say if it's still for Riss, we give him something that most staves do not do. If Riss were to be status conditioned, after every turn, like after every action, he would just heal whenever he's equipping a staff. That would mean it's a lot of if statements, but if he were equipping a staff, he would heal after every turn, not just whenever the turn starts. So we could give him a personal skill that the specific effect of a staff, like the heal staff healing 5 HP and the restore staff restoring condition, happens after a turn or after he takes an action as well. That would be a possibility, because then he still has something that makes staves different for him. It gives him a bonus, and it does tie in the entire thing of, like, if I'm using a staff, I'm not just healing, or I'm not just helping others, I'm also helping myself. So that would be if unit gets equip weapon. No. How did I do this? I'll have to. Let's see. V3 unit search item. V2. Oh, right. This is something I can add in any case, because we have to have a clause where he's not carrying any weapon. So V1 is unit search item, and then if V1, this is how it's supposed to be. V3, V2, V3, V2, yeah, that makes sense. So whenever we search if there is no weapon equipped, or if no item is equipped, and then if that happens, we go to no weapon, and then we can just put a label at the very bottom. Label no weapon. And then we can copy, we'll copy this one. V1, we search for V0. And if we have item ID live, then if V1 is indeed equipped, let's see, then it would be V2 equals unit get damn it, unit get HP, where are you? Unit get HP V0. And then V3 equals V2 plus, let's say, 5. Unit, unit set HP V0 V3. So now if he has the heal staff equipped, after every action taken he would gain the 5 HP, and we can make this skill do a different effect for every single staff. So if he would have, oh, I still have this one on. Apologies, I hope you could probably see most of it. But we can copy this entire piece, and let's say we have the relive, which is the mend. I believe it's like, we could say 10 HP. And that could go on, like the physic, we could also give 10 HP, the recover would heal him to full, or maybe 15, like it could be slightly lower. If he were silenced, he could use that to immediately cure his silence. There's all kinds of stuff we can do. However, there's a small thing that we currently have not done yet, which is give it an animation. Anim. Luckily I have the right one immediately. So I'm going to remove this piece because this is just for testing. We're going to insert a disable skip. Disable skip, because we don't want to be able to press start and skip this entire thing. Then looking at the rest, we are going to focus, unit focus. Oh, units focus V0, because we want to focus on, in this case, Micaiah, but it will be Riz. Then we will focus weight. Then I'm just going to copy this. Set this, of course, to V0. I don't actually know if that animation is needed. However, then we have the effect to actually play the effect on the unit. We set the HP, that is fine. And then we just scroll down. I believe we can enable skip after that. So this would be just to go through it. First of all, it searches if there is no weapon equipped, and if there is no weapon equipped, it just skips the rest of the code because we don't have anything that is supposed to happen in that case. If we find the heal staff, and if the heal staff is also equipped by Micaiah, then we will get her HP value, and we will then set a flag or a function that V2 plus 5. We're entering disable skip, unit focus. We focus on Micaiah, we focus wait for just a moment. An animation plays, I don't know if we need this one. We play an effect on this unit. We wait for the effect to end, then we set their HP. And I believe there is also a little bit more that we have to do, because we have to, let's see, I'm going to change this to V4. V4 is unit get max HP, V0. So this is going to be V5. And then we're going to take this entire piece, just by tabbing it once, because if we don't want to play this if unit is at full health. So if V4 is greater than V2, we will enter into this entire thing. So this means whenever they are not at full HP, then this can happen. If they're at full HP, it just skips it. And I believe that there's one thing that we could use. Let's see, heal. Yeah, show heal window. There we go. This is revive. Talk event, unit focus, focus wait, effect, play, recover. That's all the same. I think actually that might even be a better way to go about it. Effect. Does mean I need to get the position. We'll just see if this works first. Unit set HP and weight M 100. Okay. Also, I hope you're all having fun with the bombs. I could actually do a... Does this work? Or is it... Yeah, everyone's exploding. I am going to, if this works, let's see. I always forget what these commands are. Ah, there we go. I am going to change this into a Wyvern Knight. Currently you can't see the airplane, but it's going to... You saw it just on screen. Ah, there it goes. I am going to change that to a Wyvern Knight at some point. For scripting, I currently use Visual Studio Code, and there is an Exalt extension made by Thane98. The extension is right here. You can just search for Thane98 and you should be able to find it. I hope it's just as simple as installing that, but I'm probably going to dedicate a stream on installing everything you need for scripting in Radiant Dawn's code. But it's been such a long time that I've actually set it up. Oh, I have won the Battle Royale. Sorry, guys. No 500 gold to someone else. No, I'm going to take a look, see what it took to set everything up, because I just can't remember anymore, and I don't want to try and go through the entire process of installing it and then not being able to tell you how it's done in an efficient manner. Yeah, it's rigged. I have no use for this, so I'll just throw it in again. There we go. Try again. We have a disable skip, a unit focus, unit animation. It should play an effect. I don't think this one is strictly necessary. It might just be for the animation for healing or something like that, but I don't know what it is exactly, so I'm going to keep it in just for now. Our code is usable, so that's good. I'll just need a small moment to also give a few things to Micaiah, because she does of course need a heal staff. Please don't let me win again. You can't see the health bars right now. Oh, I'm nearly dead. Resident Liability has won once again, I believe. Let's see, going into the Dispos files, I'll quickly give a heal staff, because that should be the only thing we need. I believe you can upgrade to Sniper now. Item ID live. And I think that's the only thing we actually need. Going to save. Copy and paste. And we'll take a look, see if it actually all works. Now the bigger question is, can Micaiah actually be damaged? 14, 22, okay, she can be damaged, that's good. So we'll just stand here, have some combat. Okay, we have 10 damage. So currently nothing should happen. She has nothing equipped. So that's good. If we have a tome equipped, nothing should happen. And if we have a heal staff equipped, we have an animation. However, we don't have any healing yet. So it's not putting in, it is registering that this entire script exists. However, it's not doing the correct animation and it's not showing the effect ID currently. So I think we can skip this one. And I'm just going to add a few things from this entire revive script, because I know that that one works. We will review. Paragon should be fine. Of course, currently Micaiah doesn't have a skill for this equipped yet, but we're going to make that work. We're going to give her something else later on. Let's see, the V5, V6 is unit get X V0, and then V7 equals unit get Y V0. I'm going to put these in a different space because I don't want to have to reference them every single time. And then, yes, Eddie is the internal name for Edward. So we have unit focus, focus weight, that's the same. And then we have effect ID play by, or effect play by position, which we can now use instead of effect play and effect unit. And then we'll make this effect ID live. And we are going to make that on V6, V7. And then we're going to show heal window. I don't think we need effects weight in that case. So show heal window. V0, V3, I believe, because V2 here was unit get max HP. Okay, so then it has to be V2. Oh no, V4 even. And then we set unit HP to V0. So Micaiah V3, which would be V2 plus 5. So the current HP plus 5. And then we wait a little bit. Wait 500, and then we have enable skip. And after that, very important, we also enter something here. No, we don't even need to do that because she has only one weapon equipped. We get an error, so unit set HP has to be capitalized. Token found identifier. Oh, yeah. There we go. Now it should work. No. V7 is a variable. V7 is not supposed to be capitalized. Mistakes can come in quite easily. But I think we have something that works now. So we'll just run Daybreak again, get some extra damage in. Luckily I still have the Fighting Dirty on Pugo, so he automatically does 10 damage. We don't even have to have the first hit connect. He just always does 10 damage anyways. Do not want to kill the enemy, very important. And there, oh, we also get hit. Well, so we currently have 14 HP. And we already saw if we have something equipped or nothing equipped, nothing happens. If we have the heal staff equipped, make a quick save state. We currently healed 14 HP. So that's not intended, but then afterwards it goes back to what it's supposed to be. So I think the show heal window V4 is wrong and it has to go to V3 because then it actually shows gaining 5 HP. But we have a working skill. Now the only thing I'd have to do to make this skill function in its entirety is go and copy paste the entire segment that we just made. From there on out I would add a few things here and there for different staves, and from there on out I would have to also make sure that it's of course applied to Riss instead of Micaiah, but Micaiah is here, she's great for testing right now. The last thing I would have to do is make a skill icon, which I probably already have, give it to the person that's supposed to have the skill. Of course it's going to be Micaiah and testing. I almost kept the Abraxas equipped. Okay, we have 10 damage. And if I now equip the heal staff, 10 HP. Still not entirely correct. So what if we just say V3 is 5? And then show heal window 5. Does it then give 5 extra HP? We're so close. It's almost functioning. Let's see, what are my balance ideas for Fiona and Meg in Daybreak? Well, it's not necessarily balanced because nothing currently is balanced. I cannot make a good determination on what is balanced, and I don't really have any great reference points anymore because all the values have changed so much compared to vanilla Radiant Dawn. However, when looking at unit identity, I look at a unit's personality. For Meg, that is that she has her lucky, like her fortune skill, which of course is part of her identity. So I could say I give her very low luck because she has the fortune skill. Because that would of course make it so that taking it off of her would be you could give it to someone else, but it's something that allows her to bypass crits that she would otherwise face. She of course has Hookums on both chests. She of course has walked the entire way from Crimea all the way to Dayan, so I have given her a boots item in her inventory. You could give it to someone else, but it's part of her inventory when she joins. And I have given her the long march skill, which is basically celerity on a delay. You can't combine them, but it's celerity from turn 3 onwards. So she gets going, she starts walking, and then turn 3 onwards she gains extra movement. Focusing here just to see if the skill works now. Yeah, we gain 5 HP. Oh, no, that's not good. Now we're being put at 5 HP. That's not what I wanted. I want it to just be V2, which units get HP plus 5. What's so difficult about that? And regarding Fiona, because Meg, she's very inexperienced. I'll finish Meg first before I get to Fiona. Meg is inexperienced, but she's strong. She can lift cows over her head. I'm planning on giving her a lot of strength, low skill, low luck, but she does have the fortune skill to bypass her low luck. And then that of course means that you can invest forges with hit rates in her to bypass that, or you can use her, I believe she has a heaven affinity, but you can use supports to give different affinity bonuses to also patch up her shortcomings. And Fiona, she is very dedicated to helping her people, so she is going to have the shelter skill, for example. And other than the shelter skill, she's also going to be more defensive, not necessarily an aura bot, but she is going to focus a lot, not have combat as her main focus. She's more of a defensive oriented. Oh damn, I hope I am not going to kill all the... I'm going to softlock myself. Also, Virtue, hi, nice to see you here. Yes, this is a Radiant Dawn mod, but it's only in the process of making stuff. We're not actually we're playtesting little bits. We're not actually going through the entire game. So please don't get your hopes up that we're going to see big changes to maps and stuff like that. Currently, I have, for example, all the mages on the map because I was testing animations for a lot of tomes. I might still have 1 or 2 here. I could see Purge, for example. Normally Purge is an on-map tome, but we've made it so that Purge now also shows as a combat tome. Okay, I should just take damage here. So yeah, it's more just that I'm looking at unit identity, not necessarily balance and stuff like that right now. Also, I don't need the game to be balanced. I just want everyone to be usable and unique to a certain extent, just that they can that they feel different. Even generals and units should feel different enough that whenever you're using Gatri over Tornado, that they do provide a similar role, but that they differ in certain areas. So we're going to equip the heal staff again. I don't want 11 HP, I want 5. We're gaining the right amount of HP back, but currently it's not going perfectly yet. I do want to keep the heal window there because that's what happens with the normal heal staff, of course. Also, Virtue, thank you for following. Yes, I just wanted to make sure. I have had a couple of questions here and there. Not necessarily during Twitch, but mostly just people that were asking like, are you going to play more and more? So it's nearly functioning. We just have to make sure that somehow we don't get the... Oh, I also probably don't want to make this after every effect, because that would be weird. Because then after every movement, if they have a staff equipped, you would just get infinite... you would get infinite healing. So a better effect probably would be to put it on enemy phase at the end of player phase. That would be... Ooh, event... turn... Going to copy this. Actually, I might just copy the next one. That one seemed better. Shelter. Yeah, Shelter Pack does this at the end of turn. So now, instead of doing it after every action, from turn 1 to turn 999 onwards, the effect not just happens at the start of player phase because they have the staff equipped, it also happens at the end of player phase, so you get some extra healing in. However, the show heal window is still not working as intended. So what we can do is just go to a different skill. And this is the weird thing, like here it is for Miracle the same. It's V1, V5, and V1 is Micaiah. V5 is... Oh, does that mean that if she currently dies, she does have it? No, she doesn't have the Miracle skill. So these are the exact same, and here we also have V0, V3, so why are these working differently? FX play position, which is V3, which is get X and Y, so that checks out. We have the unit focus and the focus weight. We have these are the exact same skill pretty much in how this piece of the code functions. Just the way that it would activate is different. But why is this currently not working as I want it to? V1, V5 divided by 2. Maybe if I put these in parentheses, worth a shot. Sometimes it's just something small. We are going to try again. Also, I'll try and remind myself for the next attempt, I'm just going to put in a very quick unit set HP to something else so that we don't have to go through this entire thing. Okay, not hold the Abraxas because that would hang the game. We go through this, we take 10 damage because of fighting dirty. And now we equip the heal staff. Nothing happens because this is now at the end of player turn. But we still get 10 HP back, which is not the intended amount. Forged spear named El Tenedor. I have no clue where that one comes from. Like, you have to explain that to me, Themos. Like, Forged spear El Tenedor? I was talking about forges for Meg, but I don't think that's what you're referring to, is it? Let's see, unit, set, HP. I could probably just do it here. Unit, set, HP. V0. 10? That would work. So at the end of player turn, it would just set Micaiah's HP to 10, and from there on, it will go through the rest. And because it's now not at max HP, that would work. I'm still baffled why we're getting 10 HP back. That's not what we're trying to. V2 is unit get HP. Oh, wait. It's probably. That doesn't make sense. Let's see, we can remove that. If they have the heal staff equipped, we just set their HP to 10. We'll just try it, see what happens. I think it has to do with the fact that it's looking at the wrong like it's looking at the Micaiah's HP value at the wrong time. But I don't know exactly why that would be the case. Also, Virtue, I don't know if you've noticed already, but there are some really cute GBA characters walking around the screen. You should be able to have one yourself as well. Just exclamation mark avatars or exclamation mark GBA and you should get some commands. Okay, currently it's just not setting Micaiah's HP to 10 at all, so that's not good. 5 is the raw heal amount for the staff, for the heal staff. Oh wait, that does make sense because she probably didn't, yeah, she didn't have the heal staff equipped, so nothing happens. So we're set to 10 HP and then we gain 15, according to this. And that makes sense because we get their HP plus 5, but we don't want to gain that HP. We want to set their HP. Maybe if I just that's not a 1. V2 plus 5. Maybe that would work. And then we wouldn't need V3 except for the actual setting a unit's HP. So for the visual we would have to use something else. So where did I go? We've gone. Oh, there. I'm just walking around. And I'm going to have plenty of content for streams. Like, I hope people are enjoying this, but I'm already like 1.5 hours into this and I've only made 1 skill. So if I'm going to stream and make more skills, I'll have plenty of content to at least work on different stuff. Let's see, we're going to equip the heal staff. We will be set to 10 HP. We will not be set to 10 HP because I removed that. Okay, so I'm going to have to take damage this time. Nothing happens. Okay, nothing. He could actually do 1 damage and then 37, and now we get hit by Fighting Dirty. So we heal 5. Oh. And we still heal 15. Why is it healing 15? That's not supposed to happen. See, we have Unit get HP. I could technically move that one up. Then unit get max HP is also not necessarily needed here. Because that's just cleaner, because I don't have to put it in every search item function. I don't have to put it in every if statement. So if we have a heal staff equipped, then V3 is V2 plus 5, and V2 is the unit's HP plus 5. That makes sense. If we are not at full HP, we focus and we wait. We have that effect play. We show the heal window for Micaiah, and we show that she has V2, which is her HP, plus 5. And then we set her HP to her HP plus 5. This shouldn't do anything with 15. Why is it doing stuff with 15? I don't know. Probably entertaining to see me get frustrated for no apparent reason. Okay, Daybreak, once again, are you going to comply to my wishes? Nolan out of the way, I still haven't removed Nolan. Yeah, that's right. Oh, we actually get hit. Okay, we have exactly how much HP? We have 37 HP. We equip a heal staff. We wait, nothing happens, that's good. We end turn. We gain 11 HP, that's not supposed to happen. We do gain 5 in reality, but we don't gain... Why do we gain 15? Show heal window. I mean, I guess I just could not show the heal window. And that might actually be cleaner. It would take less time, but it's less clarity. Why is it V2 plus 5? Like, I just want the amount healed. So showing heal window, if we set it to 5, it's going to put us at 5 HP. That's not supposed to happen. If we take V2 plus 5, which is our current HP plus 5, it's healing us to full. So where is the middle of the road approach? Currently it's either we set it at a specific value, which isn't what we need, or we set it to something that heals us to full HP. If we just do no show heal window. Let's attempt. I mean, this should just work. Technically, I could even just equip the heal staff here. I don't know if that's going to cause any weird code shenanigans with scripts that aren't supposed to activate, but we'll find out in just a moment. So this is all fine, this is fine. You give thieves a proper bad name. We even crit 6% critical hit. Nice. We get smacked. Oh, that's interesting. That's not supposed to happen. That is probably due to the fighting dirty effects. So that's a code interaction that I would have to remove. So that's also not good. Now we don't get the effect. We do get the heal. That was visible. We went from 33 to 43, which is 5 from the skill and 5 from the actual heal staff. Show heal window. I'm just going to quickly go into Discord. Dunal, did you have anything to say about this? I remember something about this. Nope, not over here. Also nothing. Was there something in my own Discord? I don't remember. Heal window. No sir, no results found. Okay, so we have to do it on our own. Show the heal window, that's good. We need that apparently. You need, or rather, because it didn't play the effect by position, we didn't get this to show up, did we? No, no animation plays. So it is the same. Then him shift. Has a wait time of 1000. That shouldn't make a difference. I'm just going through some older code because, well, there's only one place I've used effect ID live. I don't even know, does effect ID heal even exist? Afraid I'll have to come back to this skill. I thought this one was like, as soon as I had a bit of a direction, I thought I would have had something, but the Dawn Brigade isn't really cooperating. We have the show heal window. The show heal window should take Micaiah's HP and then add 5. Like, how difficult can that be? Can I put in... Come on. This seems kind of dumb, but maybe it works. Okay, that works. We'll just comment that one out. See if this works. This is the stage of fucking around and finding out. Also, that was not the window that I needed. Probably going to end the stream not long after this. I'll try and get this working in its entirety. It would be nice to finish a skill, or at least finish the base frame for it. But I do have to start working on dinner. It is the Dawn Brigade. So we're getting attacked, we get no damage, and we take 10 damage because everyone else missed. And now if we equip the heal staff, we get an animation, but we don't get much else. We do get the correct healing amount though. So we're almost there. Is it effect ID heal? Or maybe... Wait M 500. Maybe we just need a small delay here. This is rising. The game likes 15, but we're not going to let it continue this travesty. Speeding through the prologue every single time. One day I will place Nolan somewhere else, or I'll give that mage not a fire tome with 2 range. Okay, and we take damage from fighting dirty. Heal staff. Equip. It's so close. It's so close, but it's just not there. I think... Oh, Christ. Oh, that was the wrong place. I think I'll have to call it a day here. I don't know how to fix it in a few minutes. I'll just make a comment that my live to serve needs work. I have to get working on dinner. Like, it's almost 5 o'clock and people do have to be able to get some dinner on their plates before the bar opens and stuff like that. So we'll leave it at this. I might work on this in my spare time, do some work, try and get it working myself, and then I'll report back to what I changed. I might just leave it for next stream, and we'll tackle some other skills as well. Hopefully some skills that work a little bit easier than this one, because, well, I was cooking with this one, but like live to serve, it's a lot harder than I expected it to be. At least I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Sal out. Thanks for tuning in.